I brought this bench in from my shed. I ended up tearing down my shed because it was rotting out. This was one of my old super heavy duty benches. And basically, I need to put wheels on it. So what I decided to do was make these brackets. Let me show you. These are the wheels I picked up. I'm hoping that I don't have a problem with leverage, like where it wants to break this bolt. This is I want to say a 3/8 bolt, grade 8 hardened. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay. Let me show you the other three that I ended up welding up. All right, these are them. I mean, you could tell all I did was just did a full bead all the way around in hopes that it'll be enough. All I'm worried about is this being a pivot point where, you know, depending how much weight is on the bench, it might snap. But, you know, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so this is the plan. This is my router. What I'm going to try to do, ignore the bit, is make a mount for this. So I can mount this on here. So I can start using this table for, you know, wood stuff. Start making wooden projects. So I figure I'll take you guys along for the ride. See what trouble we can get into. Alright. I'm trying to see what I have for stock. I mean, I've got a lot of variety of just different things. But I mean the easiest. You know, I'm lazy. Let's be reasonable here. So to make, first of all, I don't know what the hell kind of a thread that is. I'm not even going to attempt to make this type of a thread. So I mean that's not even an option. So all I want is a type of sleeve thing. Something like I did for this motor over here. You know, this is what I'm assuming I'm going to end up making. Actually, hang on, let me check the diameter of that. I had an aha moment. When I took this bracket off, I realized that is pretty gosh darn close. And in fact, might do the trick. So what I'm thinking now is if I make some standoff blocks, you know, for the difference, and then I can bolt this into the aluminum plate, it might just work. And I might be able to do this with minimal effort, which is even better. Heck yeah. This is a prime example of what welding can do, how much it can bend and pull. Figure I'd mill these surfaces to get them flat, and I started over here, and it's the same thing where it starts to take a good chunk over here and nothing here, as you can see here. So this is all because I welded these pieces on. Let that be known. If you have to do any welding in the future, especially on a machined part. Now that I machined those surfaces, figure we'll test this out. I just want to make sure it's sitting flush, and it is. You can actually see the wedge that was there. Oh boy, now I'm wondering if I should do this side. Darn it. I have to say, I really didn't think I was going to have to do this much work to this thing, but I am a really crappy welder. So now I'm just trying to get everything square and lined up. So this surface is flat. I'm going to try to make this surface flat. You can clearly see there's a wedge on the top now. I'm going to have to somehow hold this to cut this surface down and make that flat. I'm really starting to think I should have did this a different way. But committed now, so not much I can do. We've made some good progress here. As far as this mount goes, now the only problem that I can foresee is going to be the back of this is actually extending farther than these, well, the end of this. So what that means is I'm not going to be able to mount this flush to this plate like I was anticipating. So what I'm going to have to do is mount a plate on top of this and then mount to that. I mean, this really is getting a little, I don't know, more than I was expecting. I don't know. I'm going to have to keep messing around with this and see where it goes. I'm really right now just trying to get this router attached the easiest way possible. And I ordered another aluminum plate. It's going to be here in a couple of days, just as a backup. Unfortunately, it really doesn't do me much good now, but is what it is. So what I'm doing now is making the standoffs. Instead of drilling and tapping and all this other happy horse stuff, I'm just going to weld a few of these together. That way it'll save me some time. I mean, I'm still going to have to do some drilling and tapping, but this should alleviate some of the tedious work, hopefully. The metal's thick enough, it really shouldn't distort all that much. As you can see, I'm throwing a small little bead in there, nothing serious. So I'm hoping it doesn't distort too bad. We'll see what happens. Now this is where I'm at with the CNC lathe. Basically everything here is done. I'm missing a ball screw. So I ended up using the ball screw for this on the CNC plasma table. So I'm going to need to order another one and get that on the way. But again, I've already got the holes lined up and everything's all set for it. The only thing I'm not sure about is this aluminum top plate. I might change this out for a steel heavy duty plate. When I start running the lathe, we'll see what happens. If I notice some deflection or, you know, anything else, I'll swap it out. But this is the spindle, and this is the chuck here. Now, I'm obviously going to have this raised up so that the tool holder and the tool will be center line to, you know, the spindle bore. And what I also would like is some gang tooling here. So, you know, I can have, you know, maybe a drill here. I don't know, whatever. I mean, you get the point. So we'll see what happens. But, you know, the ball screw on the bottom works, the Z-axis. I'm going to work on the X-axis next. I got the Aloris tool holder working for this lathe, for the CNC lathe. So next step, ball screw, and I'm going to have to devise a mount for the whole assembly. Basically, I have another plate and a big bar of steel that this should be able to sit on and raise it up far enough, hopefully. But we'll see what happens. This is the stepper motor mount I made. It was made quick, but I believe it will do the trick. Suffice to say, you know, this just comes in here. I've got to make the bottom a little wider, as you can tell. But, I mean, it's as simple as 2 bolt holes, you know, bolt to this plate, and then stepper bolts here, and then you got, you know, these little goodies here to hook the stepper to the ball screw. I'm working on the CAD. I've got to extend this, like I showed you, probably another, I don't know, 5/8 of an inch to make it work. And I've been actually thinking about making this a little bigger so I can make these holes oval to give it some adjustability. But again, I'm going to 3D print them first, make sure everything checks out. And if it does, then I'm going to make it out of aluminum and go from there. All right, everybody. Well, it's Christmas Eve. Have yourself a very Merry Christmas. And if I don't talk to you or hear from you, and a Happy New Year. Have a good one, guys. Happy holidays.